What we know about the victim and the suspect who surrendered to police.
Well, San Antonio Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones finishes her 100th day in office. But the question is, do you think she's doing a good job? And we have the answers that you came up with in a poll coming your way.
Coming up on TMSA, we are outside this morning talking about these beautiful temperatures and how long they'll last. Plus, your weekend forecast is coming up.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And he wasn't kidding. Look, Justin Horn is. He's out in the elements right now, quite literally.
Good morning, guys. Again, thanks so much for waking up with us. And there's a reason for the season for him being out there, something that we might be a little jealous of because apparently it feels real great outside. Right, Justin?
It feels awesome. Temperatures are in the upper 60s. In fact, we just dropped a few more degrees. We're down to 67 here in San Antonio, or 67. We had to throw that out again. I can't leave that alone. Also, it's so very peaceful out here. It feels great. Not that it's not peaceful inside the studio, but just the sights and sounds of being outside on a Friday morning. Gotta love it. We're going to see some cool mornings today and tomorrow. Again, there's a look at the temperatures. Some 50s in the hill country this morning. Bernie is one of the cool spots. And we've got 60s for most of San Antonio at this hour. Let's look at the forecast for today. Do know that with dry air, it will be a rapid warm-up. So get outside and enjoy it now, because by noontime we're going to be in the upper 80s, and then by this afternoon right back in the 90s for highs, probably somewhere around 92. And that also will be the case over the weekend. Coming up, we're going to look at some drought statistics, which are pretty incredible when it comes to our lack of rainfall here in South Texas. That'll be coming up here in just a few minutes. But let's look at the traffic now. I can tell you traffic out here is quiet. Is that the case for the rest of the area, RJ?
All right, thank you very much for that, Justin. Taking a look at your traffic authority, and yes, we got off to a little bit of a busy start, especially in the east sides of town, but that crash has cleared out, so good news for all of our folks over in the BAMC area. But let's update you right here. This is going to be 410 eastbound at West Avenue, the Jackson-Keller area. You see the traffic is still moving along in that one particular stretch, northwest side, kind of making your way to the north side of town. But again, traffic is moving along there. Hopefully we get some help there for that driver on that side of the road. 1604 been a bit of a mess for all of our folks construction wise. Take a look here. We have cleared out some construction over by Blanco Road, both directions of 1604. Still dealing with a little bit of delays right there by Blanco Road. And then further down the road, 1604, take a look at Bulverde, Gold Canyon. We still have some delays for some of our folks making their way to 1604 East. A quick shot here at our citywide view of our maps and seeing a little bit of backups over northeast side, but nothing too major. There are reports of a stalled vehicle over by 37 at Cesar Chavez, but again, nothing major right now. So good news if you're about to step outside. Let's check in with Alex Gomez on the roads this morning for us on this Friday morning. Alex, what are you seeing? What is the latest?
RJ, good morning and happy Friday. Well, the east side's back to normal, RJ. 410 northbound right at Space Center Drive. We had that big accident last hour. Now everything has reopened and there's no residual backup in that area. So now I'm more northeast. I'm on 1604 and I-35 next to the Forum, and there's no construction slowing over here. So it's going to be a good Friday, RJ.
All right. Yes, definitely hope that is the case. Thank you very much, Alex. We'll check back in with him in just a little bit, guys.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. 6:02 now. Overnight, San Antonio police say a man was shot at an apartment complex on the west side. Officers were called out to the apartments on Zarzamora just after 1 a.m. They say two men in their 20s got into an argument. One of them went upstairs to his apartment. That's when the other one showed up at his door. And police say the suspect fired several shots through the door, hitting the victim in the abdomen and the leg. He collapsed on the stairs and was rushed to University Hospital. The suspect surrendered to police without incident.
Okay, let's get to the latest on this bizarre story. This morning, we got some damage to show you where several cars, they were damaged after a man was caught on video throwing rocks at them. Now, again, this video is showing you some of the worst damage. And again, it all happened around noon yesterday. The call came in on North Alamo near I-37 downtown, but our crews saw the most damage on Broadway. The man detained did take off his clothes before police caught up to him. No one was hurt, though.
God was watching out for us because the size of the concrete block he threw through my windshield, if this were not safety glass, it could have gone right through the windshield and could have injured someone.
Now, we still don't know the name of the man detained this morning, but when we spoke with officers out there, they specifically said that they didn't know if the man was on narcotics or was experiencing a mental health crisis. But again, if you are in this position where your vehicle was damaged, or if something happens like this to your vehicle, according to Progressive Insurance, vandalism is often covered by comprehensive coverage on your auto policy, minus any deductible. Now, Progressive says that this is since unintentional damage to your vehicle is out of your control. Vandalism often includes slashed tires, broken windows, and any type of defacing of the vehicle. So again, be sure to check with your insurance if something like this does happen to you.
Okay. Well, a milestone for San Antonio Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones. She has just marked 100 days in office. When she ran for the job, she outlined 14 priorities that she wanted to tackle in her first 100 days. So how have things turned out so far? Well, we asked her about that list, and the only one she mentioned definitively checking off so far was changing how the city handles non-disclosure agreements. Our Garrett Berger sat down with the mayor and asked if she felt her time so far has been a success. She said she measured that by whether she could look herself in the mirror and say that she had done everything for the community.
I think a good leader also recognizes when priorities shift and when needs change in the community, that you adjust accordingly.
So during the interview, the mayor also spoke about the challenges the city continues to face. You can watch the full interview with Garrett on our website, KSAT.com. And so we wanted to hear from you on our online poll. Do you think the mayor is doing a good job so far? Well, we've received more than 1,300 votes, and right now about 74% of you say no, while about 25% think yes, she is doing a good job so far.
All right, switching gears right now. We got to send in a reminder to people still looking for financial help. This is after the Hill Country floods. We got that deadline approaching to apply on Sunday, September the 28th. Again, that is this Sunday. Check your calendars. People who live in qualifying counties can submit damages and make claims to FEMA. And we got that link on our website to apply at KSAT.com. So we're asking questions for you to answer anything that you need, especially regarding the new Spurs Arena. We want to hear from you. That QR code that just popped up on your screen just now, please scan it to let us know what your questions are, and we'll give you the answers. This right here is a big part of the Project Marvel, which is a proposed sports and entertainment district downtown. Voters will be asked in November if they approve using Bexar County money to help pay for the arena.
Coming up on 6:07 right now, let's give you a look at some of your morning headlines. Former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted on charges of lying to Congress. Specifically, he's charged with giving false statements and obstruction. This marks the first prosecution of a former senior government official connected to the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election. And this morning, Amazon has reached a massive and historic settlement with the Federal Trade Commission for $2.5 billion. The FTC alleged that Amazon tricked customers into signing up for Prime memberships and then made it difficult to cancel. As part of that agreement, Amazon will pay a $1 billion civil penalty and provide $1.5 billion in refunds to an estimated 35 million customers. And this morning, President Donald Trump has vowed to not allow Israel to annex the occupied West Bank. The president stated firmly that he would block that move, which has been opposed by Arab leaders as well. Trump says that he's spoken to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, but also emphasized his stance against annexation. This comes as Israel expands settlements in the West Bank and continues its offensive in Gaza. Guys, back to you.
All right, RJ, thank you. San Antonio families are feeling the pain every time they hit the grocery store.
That is true. Now, whether you shop at H-E-B, Costco, or Walmart, inflation, tariffs, and unpredictable weather have turned grocery runs into a budget headache. Patty Santos has some smart strategies, though, for you that can help you get right back.
If you've been food shopping lately, you've probably experienced sticker shock at the checkout.
It's getting to the point where people won't be able to shop anymore.
You have to cut back in order to live.
Many things cost more these days, and 77% of Americans say they have felt the most significant increase in grocery costs. Food prices have risen 24% from 2020 to 2024, according to a report from USDA's Economic Research Service.
Can't even drink coffee.
Coffee prices surged 45% in August, year over year. Here are some tips to help you stretch your budget. First, shop with a plan. Consumer Reports nutritionist Amy Keating says, don't just bring a list.
Be realistic about the week ahead. It might be a good idea to shop for some meals that are good leftovers or can be frozen to avoid overbuying and food waste.
Once you're at the supermarket, go for generic or store brand products.
We found that for staples like orange juice, coffee, cheese, and yogurt, it's possible to save 30 to 70% if you switch from a name brand.
Also consider going meatless. That alone can save you almost $1,000 a year. When you come home with your groceries, make sure you're storing your items correctly so that your produce lasts. Eat delicate produce like salad greens or berries first, and save foods like carrots and frozen vegetables for later. And take advantage of our grocery store apps. Sometimes there's coupons on there that aren't in store.
Okay, coming up at 6:30, a look at the last grocery price checklist. We're going to go shopping, and we're going to tell you how much more you're going to be paying for coffee locally than you did 6 months ago.
All right, thanks so much, Patty. It is now 6:10, and we're looking at 67 degrees outside.
So coming up, why two terrifying runway close calls are raising new concerns about air travel safety.
This is Zaid, and like this ping pong ball, he has bounced back from being an angry, fatherless child to being an inspiring, strong young man, all thanks to City Life. But I'll tell you how he's using his story to inspire other teens with troubled lives on GMSA.
And outside with live cam, we've got clear skies here in San Antonio. Temperatures are holding in the 60s right now, 67 in San Antonio, 65 below us. Look at the 50s in the hill country. How much cooler could we go? And what about Saturday morning? Take a look coming up.
Welcome back at 6:14. A life of hate and anger turned into a life of strong leadership for this young man that you see right here. Now, we told you a little bit about the City Life program last hour. He entered that program as a young student, and now he works for the organization at age 19, helping the mission of mentoring many at-risk students and teen parents in the 78207 zip code. Well, I got a chance to learn Zaid's story firsthand. Check it out.
I grew up in a single parent household. My dad wasn't in the picture, and most years I lived in an abusive household. Being in the community where it's like a lot of gang related stuff, it was kind of hard to like fit in.
When you were introduced to City Life, you said your uncle introduced that to you. How did you feel going into it at first?
I was kind of nervous to come into it, but I was kind of tired of everything else, so I was down to try anything.
The child that you were then, would you say that child is different from the man that you are today?
Yeah, I think I've changed a lot over the years. I was kind of just angry at the world, angry at men, kind of just upset with everything. And I think now, like, I've been able to show grace. A lot of these kids kind of go through the same thing. So it's really just trying to relate with them and showing like, hey, like, I understand what you're going through, and like, you don't have to go through this alone. I don't have all the answers, but I'm gonna go through it with you. Playing games with the kids, again, it brings out that competitive spirit. And I think that it kind of builds like a sense of trust.
Camp is coming up.
For a lot of these kids, it's the first time they get to leave the community. It's a getaway with a big group of friends. You get food provided, a cabin, and it's just games. Like, you get to be a kid.
Do you get nervous when you have to work with them?
Working with them, I don't get nervous. It's more like the more kids we get, the more excited I get. I know these kids do need help, and when we get more, they're coming because they want the help. So if you're a kid and you need a place to be or just someone to talk to, like, I think for sure this is the place.
Awesome young man right there. Now, for the rest of this month, the organization actually raises some money to afford sending hundreds of their students to Camp Zephyr for a free weekend of fun activity, and they're trying to reach their goal of $5,000. So again, if you have it in you to help, we got this article on our website at KSAT.com. It's listed out where you can click on the links to the camp, see what it's like, and how you can also donate so that more kids like Zaid can have opportunities of a brighter tomorrow.
Beautiful. And the ping pong game is on point, by the way.
Hey, that was actually like my second time playing, and Zaid took it easy on me.
But to conduct an interview in the middle of a ping pong, that's next level. So
I was
pretty good.
comfortable.
That's pretty good. Thank you. Right? Very good. Okay. Got touches you right here. All right, let's go outside. RJ, Hardy, you've had your hands full a couple of times this morning.
It's been a little bit busy, and yes, very impressive, great story, Jeff. Always love to highlight all of our great folks on the west side of town. Take a look at that shot there. That's 98 Nogalitos. Speaking of the west side, 281 at the quarry. Traffic is moving along. Another shot's here, a little bit further out west over by Lackland. Good morning to all of our folks there. Speaking of further out on the west side, there's going to be 410 Military Drive. Reports of that stalled vehicle there on the northbound lanes of 410, not causing any major delays right here for our folks, but just be careful, especially if we get one of our TxDOT Hero trucks out there to respond to that scene. Still following this latest with construction over along 1604. So if you're about to head out on 1604 eastbound, you could take Sunterra Boulevard or Redland Road. Those are some potential options to kind of maneuver around this. If you're coming up 281, Henderson Pass will also kind of get you around some of this activity, but it looks like things are starting to reopen there for our drivers on the far north side. All right, downtown, it's going to be very busy. Got a lot of events taking place this weekend. The biggest being the Chris Brown concert at the Alamo Dome. Doors are going to open 5 p.m. and the show starts at 7. 2 via park and ride options, Crossroads and Brooks. More than 45,000 people expected. You could park at the Martinez lot or the Alamo lot. Those are city-owned garages. All right, let's go to Alex Gomez right now for a check of things in Drive Cam. Alex, how we looking?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. Well, you're right. The north side is opening up again, 1604 eastbound at 281. There's a brief section where there's only one lane open still, but they are picking up those barrels, RJ.
Okay, Alex Gomez with the very latest information. Ask and you shall receive with him. Thank you very much, Alex. Justin, speaking of all these weekend events, how are we going to look out there?
Oh, it looks good. You know, good to see smooth traffic this morning and also some great weather. It's a great way to start the weekend, right? As we're getting ready for work this morning, just know it's almost here. The weekend is almost here, and what a way to start it. 67 degrees right now in San Antonio, 66 Converse, 57 Bernie, 56 in Comfort. Just beautiful. Again, not quite sweater weather, but we're getting there. We're getting there, and today and tomorrow we'll see some great temperatures to start. It all has to do with the dew point. Dew point's down this morning, and we'll see the dew points in the low 50s this afternoon. That dry air, very efficient at heating up, also very efficient at cooling down. So you'll see those bigger swings in temperature both today and tomorrow. So I think we'll start off in the 60s, mid-60s again tomorrow before making our way up into the 90s just like today. Clear skies, sunny skies this afternoon, 87 noontime. It does get hot in the afternoon, 92 is where we'll end up, but there will be no heat index to speak of. Drought monitor came in yesterday, and man, it was, it was exactly what we expected, but it's still bad news. You have extreme drought for most of Bexar County and the exceptional drought for those in southern Medina County. I know there's a lot of farmers down here that are just, begging for rain and praying for rain, and we understand, and we wish we could get you some, but there is not much in the forecast. And as we look at the state as a whole, we are certainly one of the hardest hit places in the state. Now, drought is starting to grow a little bit statewide, but it's been really bad down here. You look at the numbers, and we can go back in this graph, by the way. I know it's really hard to read there at the bottom, but these are years. And where you see the maroon color, that's exceptional drought. And basically, this is for our viewing area. So you can see from roughly 2011 to 2015 or so, we were dealing with a prolonged drought. We came out of it for several years, our El Nino years, and now we've gone back into it. That was starting in 2021, and we have not emerged from drought conditions. So it's been nearly 1,500 days since all of South Central Texas was last considered drought-free. And I wish in the 7-day forecast we could put some rain chances in. It's just not in the cards. With La Nina showing up this winter, I will tell you just up front, it's not looking great for us to dig out of this drought. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it is what it is. High temperatures being the near 90, next 7 days, lows in the 60s. All right, our Just Ask Justin question. A little happier topic here. Which Texas high school football team holds the record for the most wins? And Japhanie asked for a hint. She said, how many wins? And I will tell you, it's over 900.
Wow. Okay, like that helped me.
Clearly, this team has been around. So is it Converse Judson, Odessa Permian, Highland Park in Dallas, or Katy High School? Go to ksat.com/poll, scan the QR code, weigh in, let us know what you think right now. Highland Park leading the way. That answer in just 30 minutes.
And of course, RJ knows the answer.
Right.
He does.
Yeah,
he
just going to
does.
let him answer first.
Let's see if he blink once. Okay, no, never mind. We'll find out in a little bit. Okay, GMA First Look coming up here. We have more to get to here on GMSA, so don't go away.
Stay tuned.
In this morning's GMA First Look, runway scares.
Delta 54 Heavy, you've got your right engine on fire. You can come to a stop.
This alarming video showing flames bursting from an engine of a Delta plane moments before takeoff. That flight preparing to depart from Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport with 200 passengers on board. The pilot aborting takeoff and returning to the gate. This as the FAA investigates a separate incident where a United regional flight with 53 people on board overshot the runway in Virginia. Air traffic control warning the pilot of low visibility as they come in for landing.
Runway 34 clear to land. Area of heavy to extreme precipitation begins about 4 mile final all the way down to the runway.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have much more on the runway safety precautions that kept passengers safe. With your GMA First Look, I'm Stephanie Ramos, ABC News New York.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Coming back up at 6:30 right now. Again, happy Friday. Thanks for watching us. And again, 67 degrees outside, which means we got somebody enjoying the temps.
Yeah, and for those of you who are getting ready to go outside in just a little while, Justin's got you beat already because you know it feels good outside.
I am happy to report that it is indeed beautiful out here. We're in the KSAT garden. Temperatures are in the upper 60s. I thought I'd come outside and hang out with someone who's more my height. The trees. Yes, beautiful out here, and I love that we're getting off to this great start on a Friday, and we'll see these kind of temperatures again tomorrow. Well, let's look at the numbers. 67 here in San Antonio. There are 50s in the hill country. There are some 70s down to the south, but in general, we are dealing with great weather all the way around. Bus stop forecast, obviously, if you're heading out the door right now, no issues. It's still shorts and t-shirts today because temperatures this afternoon will make it into the 90s. This is not jacket weather by any stretch of the imagination, but it is great to be outside in the elements, and I'm loving this stretch of weather that we got. The only downside is that we don't have any rain in the forecast, and we'll discuss that more. Plus, the tropics still getting really active. We'll have the latest on where some of that activity may be moving coming up here in just a couple minutes. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Justin. And you can hear the trains in the background there as we give you that from the KSAT Garden. Taking a look here at 10 at West Avenue. Traffic is moving along there. 10 at Probent on the south side of town. Good morning to all of our folks over there, but the south sides, King William area, Southtown. 35 at Main, no major issues in and out of the downtown area. But let's get you to the west side right now because as you know what, as we said earlier, that TxDOT Hero truck I knew would show up sometime soon because it is officially there. 410 right here at Military Drive, starting to see traffic slow down all the way to 151. If you are on 151 trying to get on 410, Potranco is a potential option there. If you're trying to come up on 151 in the opposite direction, you could take Military Drive, kind of navigate through some of this activity. But again, we are starting to see a little bit of backup there. Fortunately, no main lanes closed as you see that crash there off to the side of the road. 1604 starting to clear out over by Redland Road. Just that little bit of construction right there at the 281 1604 interchange, but that TransGuide traffic camera indicating that we are starting to see things move along east and west on 1604. Good news for our folks out on the north side of town. Let's check in with Alex Gomez and see how things are looking in Drive Cam on this Friday morning. What's up, Alex?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. And right now I am passing the airport, 281 southbound, right at 410. And you're right, they're picking up those barrels on the far north side, 1604 east at 281. There's a small stretch that still needs to be picked up, but it only added a few minutes to my commute, so I'm not too worried about it right now, RJ.
All right, good news for all of our folks that are about to step outside as we get into our 6:30 half hour. Jeff, back to you.
Now to a story that's trending in this morning's headlines. We got a San Antonio man now on the Texas Most Wanted Sex Offenders list. And you see him right here. This is John Lynch Goodwin. He has been wanted out of Bexar County since March of 2025 for failing to comply with the requirements to register as a sex offender. Well, in 1988, he was sentenced to 20 years in prison for aggravated sexual assault of 2 underage girls. Then in 2020, he was convicted and sentenced to 5 more years in prison for failing to comply with sex offender registration requirements. Now, DPS says that Goodwin was released from prison in April 2024. In cooperation with the Texas Crime Stoppers, anyone with any information that leads to his arrest, you can earn up to $5,000.
Now to a development following the announcement that Camp Mystic will reopen after the Hill Country floods.
Yeah, the family of an 8-year-old girl still missing sent a blistering letter to camp leadership in response. Now, during the July 4th floods, 27 campers and counselors from Camp Mystic died in the floodwaters at the Guadalupe River location. On Tuesday, Mystic announced that it plans to reopen its Cypress Lake location for summer of 2026. It's in the same area, but not right on the Guadalupe River. Mystic also mentioned rebuilding the Guadalupe location at some point, adding that new safety measures will take place. The camp's email said that we are not only rebuilding cabins and trails, but also a place where laughter, friendship, and spiritual growth will continue to flourish. We look forward to welcoming you back inside the Green Gates.
Now, KSAT received a copy of this letter from Cece and Will Stewart on behalf of themselves and some of the other parents in the Heavens 27 Memorial Group. The Steward's daughter, Seal, is still missing. Now, part of the letter said, quote, to promote reopening less than 3 months after the tragedy while one camper remains missing is unthinkable. Your communications treat our never-ending nightmare as little more than a brief pause before resuming business as usual. Worse still, you are preparing to invite children to swim in the very river that may still hold our daughter's body when you plan to open your gates, end quote. KSAT reached out to Camp Mystic about this letter from the stewards, but so far we have not received a response.
We now know the identity of the person whose remains were found outside of a San Antonio business. The Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office says that person was 30-year-old Austin Thomas Rosdick. The remains were discovered on September 16th outside a San Antonio business by an employee who was cutting the grass. The medical examiner believes that he died the day before. And now to the latest on the plans to build a wastewater treatment facility over the Helotes Creek watershed. Researchers warn that could contaminate the drinking water for the 2.5 million people who depend on it. Sarah Acosta spoke to an expert about this new potential project. Meanwhile, earlier this week, we ran a KSAT Explains on the proposed Guajalote Ranch development in northwest Bexar County and why it's facing some backlash. In response to that story, Lennar, which is the corporation behind the project, sent us this statement saying, in part, quote, our facility will be among the most advanced of the area's dozen or so treatment plants already operating over the contributing zone. You can scan that QR code right there to read the full statement and watch the story.
6:35 right now. Let's give you a look at some of your headlines across the state. THC has been pretty controversial in Texas, and this summer was no different. 2 legislative sessions included conversations about THC. Governor Abbott eventually signed an executive order that will start October 1st, banning anyone under 21 years old from buying THC products. But this is not likely the end of the road. The Texas AG commissioner says that if the state does move forward with a ban, it would take months before that ultimately becomes law. In some other state news this morning, Blaine Milam, the East Texas man convicted in the horrific death of a toddler more than a decade ago, has been executed. The 35-year-old was put to death by lethal injection in Huntsville. He was sentenced to death for the December 2008 murder of his girlfriend's 13-month-old daughter, a baby girl named Amora Bain Carson. And a new massive tariff on some imported drugs takes effect next month. President Donald Trump says brand name or patented drugs will be subject to a 100% tariff. The tariff will not apply to drug makers who are building manufacturing plants in the U.S. The president is trying to add some pressure to these drug manufacturers to ramp up production in the states. Trump also announced a 50% tariff on imported kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, and other related products.
Okay, very good, RJ. Thank you. So if your San Antonio grocery bill is giving you a little sticker shock, you are certainly not alone. Like the rest of the country, inflation and other factors are pushing local food prices through the roof.
Apati Santos is breaking it down for you, here to help you fight back with the simple steps that'll save you money on your next trip to the store. Good morning, Patty.
Yeah, good morning. It's happened to me just last night when I had to put in that curbside. If you've been shopping, then you probably experience that feeling when you have to pay. In fact, many items cost more and food prices have jumped about 24% since 2020. And many shoppers say it is getting really tough to manage. And to help you stretch your budget, experts say start by shopping with a plan. Nutritionists say a realistic list is key to avoiding waste.
Be realistic about the week ahead. It might be a good idea to shop for some meals that are good leftovers or can be frozen to avoid overbuying and food waste.
And once you're at the store, try to go for generic or store brand products. Switching from a name brand or staples like cheese and coffee could save you between 30 and 70%. So right now, every dollar counts, and we visited H-E-B and Walmart to see if the price of your most common grocery staples. And here's what we found this week. Now, I want to remind you, we've been doing this for about 6 months. We found that you're going to pay the same price for some beans, cereal, OJ, and bread. You're also going to pay about $2 more for turkey breast and coffee. Quick Oats and TP is going to cost you more in price than you did 6 months ago. And your savings will be on cheese, tortilla, peanut butter, milk, bananas, and eggs. Overall, you're going to pay $1 more at H-E-B on these same items than you did earlier this year. Let's go to Walmart now. That has gone up, including beans, turkey breast, coffee, peanut butter, OJ, and oats. You're going to pay less on things like cheese, eggs, milk, and the price for TP, bread, and cereal, the same. On your total, you're going to be saving 10 cents than you did on these same items 6 months ago. Now, consider using store apps for coupons or just grab the generic store brands as a way to save. Guys?
Very much. Okay.
Yes, 6:39 right now. We're looking at 67 degrees outside.
Still more to come.
This week on Pickup Lines, we're catching up with Bexar County Precinct 3 Commissioner Grant Moody. How does he do all of this with family at home, his military service, juggling all of his duties? It's a fascinating story coming up.
And outside with live cam at 6:39, 67 degrees. Very quiet here in South Texas. Not so in the Atlantic. And if you have friends on the East Coast, they're going to want to pay close attention to what's developing near Cuba this morning. We've got an update for you coming up.
All right, 6:43 on this Friday now. Another edition of Pickup Lines ready to go. A candid conversation with that man right there, Bexar County District 3 Commissioner Grant Moody. And what a life so far. He grew up on a small farming town in Kansas. He was a valedictorian of his high school. He's a fourth-generation military veteran and served in the Navy as a pilot. And he played football at the Naval Academy before earning a master's degree in statistics from Texas A&M University.
So you've always been a natural with numbers, and
which is what I try to bring to commissioner's court. Sometimes.
Okay, with budgeting and stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about the data. Bring the data. I've joked about having the little sign that says, "In God we trust, all others bring data." Because you can come in and tell us whatever you want in commissioner's court. Sure. Bring some stats, bring some information, bring data, bring slides, so we can actually make decisions that are data-based for the county.
It's just next level of smartness in that car, in the passenger seat, to be clear. Commissioner Moody also talked about his college football career, 2 deployments overseas, and the major sacrifices his family has had to make with his military and county commissioner duties. The latest episode of Pickup Lines premieres at 5:30 and replays at 7:30 this evening on the free KSAT Plus app, or you can watch it right now at ksat.com. Just search Pickup Lines.
And you mean you never done statistics before?
No.
That's okay. Okay, so in your morning consumer headlines, United States Postal Service says the prices will not rise again at the beginning of next year. The Postal Service says that the price for market-dominant products includes first-class mail will not increase this January. In addition, the price of a first-class stamp will hold where it is at 78 cents into early 2026.
Okay, these are always fun every year. Some good news for people who like to look things up the old-fashioned way, as in a dictionary. Merriam-Webster is publishing its new edition of the legendary Collegiate Dictionary. Kids, ask your parents what that is. The dictionary includes more than 5,000 new words and phrases, including dad bod, riz, and doom scroll. And of course, there are other fun new phrases that are not yet part of the dictionary, but nonetheless in our vernacular. These are literally some of the most searched slang words in Texas. There is a list. Those words include sigma, sharking, and the aforementioned 6'7". We talked about earlier.
Yeah.
That's not a word.
It's not even a word. I mean, it's like, because you don't spell it out. It's
I guess it would be like phrases then, right?
6'7".
Well, I'm about to
That's
sound
the way you
old,
have to say
but
it.
looking at all the posts from the youngsters, they could use a dictionary.
LOL.
Spell out your words.
LOL.
Stop acronyms, everything.
Yes.
Either way, how things are looking on the roadways.
Yeah, guys, things are looking pretty good. Not too bad on a Friday morning. Things are kind of starting to pick up a little bit, but fortunately not too many major accidents at this time. As we give you a look there at the north side of town, 281 Thousand Oaks. Good morning to all of our folks there, and the west side there. Looking great on a Friday morning. Let's talk about 410 right now, where we have cleared out that one incident. Stalled vehicle in the northbound lanes of 410. Again, another great job by our TxDOT Hero trucks, making sure that they get some of these drivers back on the road safely, and obviously make sure that they get some things cleared out there over 410 at Military Drive. But usually that area does start to build up a little bit traffic as we get through the rest of our morning. 35 northbound, still seeing some delays over here. Give yourself an extra 10 minutes or so. That's what I'm seeing on some of these data maps, and we are starting to see some backup right here coming in 90 and 10, kind of where we're meeting right here south of the downtown area. Let's give you an idea what we're looking at in terms of some of our drive times. 29 minutes if you're coming in on the far west side of town. Good morning to all of our folks in Castroville. That's going to be our biggest delay for all of our folks coming into the San Antonio area. If you're going out, everything's looking pretty good out there. 21 minutes headed up 281 Bulverde. 30 minutes for all of our folks out there if you are headed on 10 over to Seguin. All right, let's check in with Alex Gomez right now and see how things are looking in Drive Cam. He's all bundled up, ready for this weather. Alex, how we looking?
Yeah, I look for any reason to wear the Dallas Cowboy gloves. Go Cowboys, RJ, don't you forget that. But right now, everything's pretty smooth out here. I'm about to make the U-turn over here on the northeast side, but the north side on 410 by the airport, everything looks pretty smooth right now. Kind of hard to find any big slowdowns, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much, Alex Gomez. And of course, Alex repping the Cowboys. They play the Packers. Justin, it's a big football weekend. I know a lot of folks are going to be out and about next couple of days.
So many good games. And the question is, will Alex still want to wear those in 3 or 4 weeks? The Cowboys got kind of a rough stretch. We'll find out. Let's go outside. It is beautiful. Look at those skies starting to show a little bit of light there, as the sun will be up here in less than an hour, of course. 67 degrees at the airport, 65 in New Braunfels. Just a very light northerly breeze that continues to usher in some drier air, which is allowing us to fall into the 50s this morning. In Bernie, 57 there. And high temperatures today, conversely, will be fairly warm. So we'll take one of those big swings. 92 is where we end up for high. 94 Nixon, 93 Gonzales, 88 for our friends out in Bandera, 88 Comfort, 93 if you're watching us from Castroville this morning, and your weekend forecast really much the same. Tomorrow morning we'll start off at 65, 93 by the afternoon. Low humidity. I will tell you we'll get a bit more high cloudiness on Sunday, but these clouds will not contain any rain. So it's still a quiet forecast, 91 on Sunday, but because of the extra cloud cover, temperatures come down a little bit. All right, we have a new hurricane now, Humberto. This thing is strengthened pretty rapidly. The latest track for Humberto, and I'll show you that in just a second, takes it out over the open water, but it's Imelda, which, by the way, it's not Imelda yet, but it will be, is going to move north. And this is the one that we are paying a little closer attention to because we think that there could be some interaction with land here. For Humberto's purposes, winds are at 75 miles per hour and it's moving northwest at 3. So let's look at both of these together. Here's what happens next. So Humberto again takes that turn, likely stays out over open water, becoming a major hurricane. But it's Imelda. These are the spaghetti plots. These are the latest computer models. Most of them want to take it up into South Carolina. Now there's a couple that do pull it towards Humberto, and Humberto would wrap it up. But it's looking, though, it's trending towards landfall somewhere there in South Carolina. Now, the good news here is there's an area of low pressure that will interact with it that probably draws in some dry air. Still, some heavy rain, very strong winds, surge, all that sort of thing will need to be watched there in the Carolinas. If you have interests there, or if you have friends or family, just let them know that this could be a pretty serious situation, and that would be early next week. Very quickly, we touched on the football games. Auburn goes to College Station. I'm excited for this one. Temperatures in the 80s. And Baylor goes to Stillwater. Good weather for that. It'll be good weather for a lot of the football games across the country tomorrow. And good stretch of weather here, other than we are rain-free. Again, a few more clouds maybe Monday, which brings temperatures down, but nothing great significance when it comes to changes there in the forecast. All right, speaking of football, our Just Ask Justin question this morning asks, Which Texas high school football team holds the record for the most wins? It's over 900. Is it Converse, Judson, Odessa, Permian, Highland Park, or Katy High School?
Definitely going with the people on this one.
Highland Park.
With all due respect to the great D.W. Rutledge and Jim Rackley and our friends in Converse here, I'm going to go with the people as well and say Highland Park.
All right. And
RJ was the only one who naturally knew.
Oh, of course he knows the answer.
You knew this, right?
The great Randy Allen. Yes, he always wore the Tom Landry hat on the sidelines to honor the great Tom Landry.
I didn't know that. All right. Well, you guys are right. It is Highland Park. Viewers are correct there. Pretty impressive amount of wins. I mean, they have 903. The next team is Mart, which is in Central Texas. They have 844. Amarillo's third with 825. Katy's 47th. They have 649. Odessa Permian's way down there. Converse Judson's not in the top 200, but they do have over 500 wins.
And
but Highland Park,
handful of titles, too.
Yes, Highland Park is the big winner.
Wow. Okay.
All right, we're looking at 6:52 right now, 67 degrees outside.
All right, coming up next hour on GMSA Plus tomorrow morning, the head for the Cure 5K returns. We're going to hear from one woman who continues to honor her husband with Team Headstrong.
Welcome back. 6:55 right now. We have a major crash on the northwest side. This is going to be I-10 West at Wurzbach Road. At least 3 main lanes closed at the moment. Traffic is slowly moving through this one stretch. You could take Fredericksburg Road, Vance Jackson. Those are some potential options. We'll talk more about this on GMSA Plus. Justin?
Oh, that looks like a mess, RJ. Thank you. Temperatures will be in the 60s to start this morning. We're at 67 right now, but we'll warm up into the 70s by 10 o'clock. 92 will be our high this afternoon, so it is going to be another warm one. But for right now, it's gorgeous. Get outside and enjoy it while you can. Extended forecast. Another day in the mid-60s tomorrow morning, and then up to 93, 91 Sunday. Bit more cloud cover Sunday into Monday, which brings temperatures down slightly. But all in all, this is a quiet forecast and a rain-free forecast as we get into next week.
Detained with no clothes on, in custody for allegedly damaging 5 cars with rocks. We got that story and more.
Exactly. It's kind of a little disturbing and quite visual. We'll have that in the next hour on GMSA Plus.